Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate KPIX TV in San Francisco, and Russell Jackman. At each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question.
Talk about your captive audience.
Yeah, that's right. And since we are toward the end of the NBA season, I thought we got to get one more NBA question in there for Mr. Jackman.
And we should put a disclaimer in for the listeners out there. As we record this show, it is game 6 between Milwaukee and Phoenix. So Milwaukee could take Phoenix out on the day that we record this. So we can't really do a deep dive into this other than, the extraneous stuff like Devin Booker doesn't have an assist in the fourth quarter of any of these games. And that we can't address Dodgers Giants. We can't address Yankees, Red Sox. All that's going on. And the show will air the day after the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games.
So we're a little behind, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's still fun to do this. And NBA Superstars is our trivia thing.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
This segment of Sports Econ is sponsored by Pacific Private Money. You got to check them out. They got 4 different funds yielding anywhere from 6% to 8%. Not bad. Wow. Still, even in today's market. In fact, it's so funny because they were saying that people are putting money into the account that it has to sit there waiting to get deployed. So they earn 0% until it gets into a loan. And it's so popular. People are saying, I don't care if it takes 2 months of earning 0% interest, but as soon as my money starts earning 6 or 7 or 8%, it's locked. It's locked in, and so they're willing to earn 0% for a couple of months. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and give up the bank's 0.00001.
That's the reason
interest.
They go. I'm earning nothing in the bank anyway. Yeah, but at least this way they get their place.
Exactly.
All right. So check them out. PacificPrivateMoney.com. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. All right, let's get right into it. So, there's a whole bunch of things to talk about here. Down the list here, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred says the 7-inning doubleheaders and extra inning rule, runner on second, are on the way out.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, you try things and see if they work, and then you kind of read the room and see how well it's received. I think the players love it because it speeds the game. I think the players love it.
I like the 7-inning doubleheaders.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
I mean,
but I don't like the runner on second in extra innings. I think that it's a silly, artificial, putting the ball on the 5-yard line type deal where it's too easy for other teams to score that runner in from second.
Yeah, but look how many games go, 20 innings because they just could only get a runner to third.
I'm okay with that. With baseball, I'm okay with that. It's the equivalent of the double overtime NBA game or the double okay, but the NBA, what do they put on the clock? 5 minutes, right? Yes.
Yeah. So that I'm fine with that because 5 minutes, is that's actually a good amount of time because it's not too short and it's not too long.
Yeah, but baseball doesn't have a clock.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, why, if the players like it, why get rid of it? I mean, who's complaining?
This was my thought. You do this in the first inning of extra innings. Nobody is on base. The second inning, you put in a runner on first.
Well, that's a good idea.
Third inning, runner on first and second. And the third inning, runners, the bases are loaded.
I kind of like that.
Hey, I kind of like that. Yeah,
I like that a lot, actually. You very smart man.
And by doing that, it changes the strategy of the game.
Yeah,
I do like that. It becomes kind of a chess match. If you do that.
Vern.
Right, and at least you get one inning where there's nobody on base.
Yeah, and if you win it, you win it. Yeah.
Right.
So, Vern, I want you to go on TV and then tell everyone it's your idea. And Russell won't mind.
That's a question that you throw out in an interview type format, though. You can't when you're doing like a 2.5, 3 minute, sportscast where
Yeah,
where you boom, subject to subject to subject, you can't stop the show and go, wait, what do you think about this?
Well, how about just Russell? How about just writing into Rob Manfred and
Yes.
No, I like
he's
that.
gotten so many stacks of my hate mail. I think he'll just throw out the next envelope I send in.
It's like I don't know, for some reason that reminds me. It's like I was losing so much money at Vegas. I decided to just mail my money in. It's a little cheap. It was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. A deaf and blind Paralympic swimmer not allowed to bring an assistant to Tokyo Games, and so she's deciding not to go. If you were to get the assistant, vaccinated, and tested and all this kind of stuff to make sure that that the assistant is safe, how can you not allow a blind person who is in unfamiliar territory?
Because they were smoking pot and breastfeeding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I mean, okay. So
if they allowed an assistant to get this far, like through the Olympic trials, why not? I mean, that's kind of strange to me. I mean, it's allowable, and then when you actually get to the Paralympic Games, nope, we're sorry. No, how bad? Wow, that's
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to say? Well, if we allow this assistant, we got to allow these other ones. No, you don't. This is like a guide dog for the blind type of situation. You got to let the dog in.
By the way, I have been hearing stories out of Tokyo from Olympic coaches and other staff members who are trying to get to the Olympics to cover it, and I've been hearing just horror stories of these unbelievable hour-long delays from the time they get to the airport before they're allowed to get to the Olympic Village. Because what's been happening now is the plane arrives at the Tokyo airport, the athletes and coaches get off, then you're tested there, and then there have been cases of people testing positive coming off the plane, and so everybody then has to get retested, and you wait around. In the case of the Olympic fencing team, coach told me they were there almost 10 hours before they were allowed to leave, and they were sitting around with no food and no water, just sitting around in a room. It just was just agony. And then at that, because one of the fencers was seated in the row directly behind a beach volleyball player who tested positive, that athlete had to go to an alternate hotel to quarantine.
And then,
do you think the same people that organized the fire festival are behind this Tokyo Olympics?
Yeah. Well, are those athletes going to be able to quarantine long enough to play, or are they gone? Or are they done?
It's interesting because in the case of this one particular fencer, he had to quarantine, and he was just released from the hotel yesterday, and will be allowed to compete in his individual event. The fear was that the quarantine period would be long enough where he would miss his individual event and only participate in the team event. But
So is he practicing in his hotel room?
Well, that's all you can do because you can't leave.
I mean, you can't just sit around in bed all day. Muscles atrophy and everything.
But he's out now. But I mean, it's been a problem. Athletes have been sent home. In the case of the U.S. Olympic team, they haven't even left Las Vegas yet, and a couple of players aren't going to be going because they've entered the protocol. He's not playing. Kevin Love's out. JaVale McGee is in. It's a problem.
Is this Olympics going to have an asterisk after it?
No, it's not going to have an asterisk. But everybody will remember it as the COVID Olympics.
Yeah, but it's
like a lot of people aren't going to remember it because a lot of people aren't going to watch it. They're going to, 10 years from now, people are going to be like, oh gosh, I don't even remember who won in 2021.
Well, and it's funny because it ordinarily would have been on 2020, so they pushed it to 2021. Are they now going to go 2025?
No. After this, it goes back to
3 years.
The next game will be 2024.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
they have all those places planned like for 100 years, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's sort of like during World War II, they didn't have the Olympics in, I believe it was 41 and 40, or 40 and 44, right? Didn't they? Didn't
Well,
they?
it would be
Yeah,
40
the
and then
36
44.
Olympics were such a huge success. I don't understand why they didn't
Well, because we
have them
remember
in 40.
Hitler in Berlin in 36 with Jesse Owens and all that, and
Kidding.
then literally
Kidding.
3 years later they invade Poland.
Yes.
Big war breaks out with them. Yeah, because in 1940 we weren't at war with anybody.
Yeah, U.S. gets involved in 41,
41, yeah.
December 41. Yeah.
Wow. Kind of crazy. Okay, when we come back, talk a little bit about the USA Olympic basketball team. Something called, oh yeah, we already kind of talked a little bit about the Overtime Elite League. Want to talk a little about Naomi Osaka on Sports
Wow.
Illustrated.
Yeah, how about that? How about her going on Twitter and blocking Megyn Kelly now? Megyn Kelly was taking a shot, and Osaka just blocked her.
Blocked her, baby. Blocked her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Here's our first
Yeah.
commercial trivia question. NBA superstars. Russell's going, oh, I know every one of these. I know them. Okay, here we go. Which dunk is known as the dunk heard round the world? Now, you'll probably remember the dunk, and I'll tell you that it happened to be in the Olympics. So at least you know that it's not. Yeah, this is actually apparently titled "The Dunk Heard Round the World."
The dunk heard
Dunk heard round the
world.
world. All right, that's our trivia question. It's kind of hard. The other ones will be a little bit easier. All right. All right. Got to start you off with a tough one here. All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We are going to be right back. Do not touch that dial or digital or however you listen to us. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101 one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. Our first trivia question, which dunk, and we'll let you have a hint, it happened in the Olympics, is known as the dunk heard round the world?
Was this the 1972 USA-Russia game where Russia, with like less than like a second, went full court and then slammed it to win the game after the U.S. had already won it, and then there was a protest, and then they came back on the court, and then Russia ended up winning?
They actually, if I remember correctly, I remember watching that. I think that's not the answer, but going back to what you said, if I remember correctly, USA won it twice, and they took it away, and then finally Russia got it when it was like, well, wait, what's going on here? They still have bad memories of that one.
All right, so it wasn't that. Okay.
It wasn't that. But I believe he won the slam dunk contest and probably was considered one of the best slam dunk artists.
Is it Larry Nance?
No.
No.
Vince Carter, his Olympic one-handed jam over a French 7-2 center. I'm trying to remember which games.
I'm going to go back and find that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess the world really wasn't paying much attention, since the three of us had never heard of it.
It was called the Dunk Heard Round Sports Econ 101 instead of the world.
Yeah, I would say the one where Michael Jordan jumps off the free throw line and won the slam dunk contest with that iconic, move that they turned into the logo for his shoes. Yeah,
or if it was. How about the one where if it was not the Olympics, when Baron Davis over AK-47?
Oh yeah, people still talk about that.
Yeah, still talk about that one. That was a good one.
Dunks. Right. It's funny because that didn't lead to a championship.
No, that was the We Believe, and we stopped believing. Okay, what do you guys think? A USA Olympic basketball team ekes out a 83-76. I'm calling it eking out a win against Spain. Any concerns, or is this like who cares because it's just a warm up?
When they lost to Nigeria, that was an eyebrow raiser, and then they lost again to Australia. Then it was like, well, it's exhibition. Yeah, what's going on? And there's the argument that the U.S. they're just trying to get together. Some of these other countries, they've been practicing for weeks, and so they're kind of ahead of the U.S. And then it looked like the U.S. kind of got their legs back or whatever. You know what? I'm not gonna put much stock in it now. Now that they're 2-2 as we record the show in exhibition play, and it'll bother me once pool play starts. and the U.S. with essentially an all-star team starts leaking oil.
And
Then it'll bother me.
And how much? Then we don't know the athletes' minds, but how much real USA pride do you think there is in the players?
Very little. I mean,
Really?
in the sense that they're doing it to get the gold medal, but I don't think they feel like America cares that much about. I was trying to go over with my best friend, who's a huge basketball fan, like what other teams outside of the Dream Team have won the gold in the Olympics, and then I said, can we remember the composition of any of those teams?
Well, you mean other than the Dream Team?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, good point.
It's the Dream Team. Tell me, okay, I know that like LeBron, I think, won the gold once, but when you think of like the teams after the Dream Team, they're just sort of a misty cloud of they're good NBA players, but do you remember exactly who
also,
won?
if you remember, everybody treated them like royalty, even the other basketball teams.
Right.
True.
Nobody treats these guys like royalty.
Yeah.
Nobody treats these guys like royalty and then also, that Peacock is trying to charge people $5 a month to watch the USA games exclusively on the Peacock network, which is terrible. I think that's really going to kill viewership in Team USA unless they put it on regular television. And then finally, the games are going to be off, or when they're broadcast live, it's going to be at a time when virtually no American can watch it.
Yeah, Tokyo's what are they, 15 hours ahead of us?
19, I think.
19, yeah. It's funny because I still remember being a kid. I didn't watch too much of the 68 Olympics just because I was only 8 years old, but definitely 72, 76, 80, 84. After that, it kind of dwindled a little bit, but there was just so much, real Olympic. Everybody was interested in it back then.
Well, in '84, it was in Los Angeles, so
right.
We live in California, so you were going to watch, so it's not there was no time change or different like that. It was just turn on the TV and enjoy the show.
Oh, that's true.
Do you guys remember the Olympic? Do you guys remember the Olympic triple cast?
Yes, I do.
My uncle was he subscribed to it like the moment. He was such a wild Olympics fan that he like subscribed to it the moment it came out, and he's the one guy I know that got his money's worth from the triple cast. He watched
remind the viewers what the triple cast was.
You would have these packages of 3 pay-per-view channels that you could watch, and there was a bronze package where you got 1 channel, the silver package where you got 2 channels, and the gold package where you got all 3
where you had all the channels.
And they had every single Olympic event imaginable. I mean, you could watch yachting and canoeing, kayaking. And
curling, don't forget your favorite sport, curling.
Well, summer.
That was the Winter Olympics.
Oh, that's true.
So dressage is one where I often feel like you're really pushing the Olympic, sport to as far as you can take it, in theory.
Wait, what was that?
I'm not a big dressage.
What is that?
It's a form of equestrian, Edward.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a horse walking around in a square somehow. Turns into an Olympic sport.
And
I think by the way, I think Tokyo is 16 hours ahead because as we're doing this show, it's 1:27 in the morning in Tokyo.
That would make it 16 hours
for everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. So getting back here, let's see here. We got a couple of minutes. Naomi Osaka, I'm just looking at the eye there. Osaka, on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. You guys have any issues with that? And what I mean by that is, there's always been this, listen, these women athletes are athletes. And then now she's being, quote, objectified because the typical swimsuit issue is usually not an athlete. It's, just a beautiful woman in perfect body shape, et cetera, et cetera.
But over time, though, it has changed. They have um, they have from the supermodel to the elite, the female elite athlete. They, this isn't a first.
Just maybe on the cover.
It's happened before though.
Okay,
If you wanted to see bodies really badly, there's a thing called the internet.
Yeah.
And there's also and there's also the Sports Illustrated body issue, where they're in various artistic forms of undress, but they're doing their sport.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. I mean, that's just sports. They're just trying to sell more of their issues. Exactly.
If I remember correctly, reading this, there was a transgender. I don't know if it was on the cover, but thinking
a transgender athlete was featured.
Well, I guess what was a man and turned into a woman, and is
that I don't know. I have to look that up.
That's a whole different animal on that one. It's funny because if you don't know, you just look and you go, "Man, that's a beautiful woman," you know. And
going back to Osaki, your point.
Osaka.
Osaka, your point was.
Well, just any issues with the fact that here's a tennis star. Now she's choosing to do this, right? It's not like they're telling her, "Listen, you got to," sort of like, remember A League of Their Own, and the women are playing baseball, and they're telling them, "Listen, we need you to be a little bit more feminine and wear do all this feminine stuff, even though they're playing baseball." It's like here she's choosing to do this.
Yes, she did choose to do this. She is the it girl for reasons beyond her ability to play tennis, and she sells issues. She moves the needle now because of her issues with mental health and her decisions to pull out of Grand Slam events because she wanted to deal with mental health. So,
and the thing is, even though she was like shy or she didn't want to talk to reporters, when you have just a camera on you and you're not talking to anybody, that is different. So, there may be issues like one-on-one or, talking an interview and being on TV. Because I saw some people making comments like, well, how could she do that? But then she goes ahead and, she's not so shy as to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And it's like, I mean, I look at it, I can see that being two different things. Hey, listen, I'm just here with a photographer, and whatever happens with the picture, okay, it goes on to Sports Illustrated versus being interviewed.
And how do you know? And this is in reference to the Megyn Kelly shot at her because she's appeared on the cover of all these magazines like Sports Illustrated and Osaka's thing is, hey, I did those photo shoots over a year ago.
Good point.
Yeah, and so if you did your research, you would know that.
Good.
But the reaction has been as if she just took these photos just a few days ago and then they slammed her on the cover.
Wow. Okay, guys, second trivia question here. Which country was San Antonio Spurs forward Tim Duncan from? Which country was Tim Duncan from? All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown, Vern Glenn, and Russell Jackman here. Second trivia question. Which country was San Antonio Spurs forward Tim Duncan? I don't know why they call him a forward. I mean, he seems like a center to me, but
power forward.
Power forward for sure.
Power forward. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that with Ayton? They're saying
a 4 stretch 5, I believe.
Okay.
If you want to be inside basketball.
Okay, so where's Tim Duncan from? I thought he was from Canada. I was wrong.
I thought he was from I thought he was from like the Virgin Islands, which is part of the United States.
He's from the Virgin Islands. Okay, which Virgin Island? Okay, I heard Barbados. That's not correct.
Okay, sorry.
The only other island I can think of is St. Croix.
Yes, St. Croix.
Wow. That's all I could come up with.
Very good. I like that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. Scottie Pippen is renting out his $2 million mansion on Airbnb. Guess how much he's asking per night? This is for the Olympics, August 2nd, 4th, and 6th. I'm not sure why it's even numbers like that, but
it's free if you can give him a story about how Michael Jordan sucks.
Yeah, well, he's going to be putting out a book on that, right?
Yeah, if you can give him an additional story he can put in his
No,
book,
but this
he can
mansion
stay
has
there
an
for
indoor
free.
basketball court. I mean, I haven't seen it, but it's probably very tricked out. And
Where is it?
I think this is the one that's in LA versus the one
Okay.
that's in Chicago.
I'll
Right?
say $2 million.
Well, it's a $2 million mansion.
It's a $2 million mansion, so it's
Mansion, but
probably
how much per night?
10,000.
Per night.
You're not going to believe
I'll
this.
say
10,000.
50,000. 50,000.
You ready? $92.
$92.
That's apparently that's what Yahoo Sports is reporting. Scottie Pippen is renting it out for $92 a night. It says here, sick of watching Team USA from your luxurious pool, spending half your time in the arcade room, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see here. His mansion on Airbnb, so fans can celebrate watching the Olympic in style. It'll be available. It'll cost just $92 a night, which isn't bad considering the mansion comes with an indoor basketball court. And when you click on the Airbnb, what do you see? I mean, there's all kinds of things about it. And this is in Illinois, so I'd have to travel there. This is a beautiful, beautiful place. And there it is. It says $92 a night.
Yeah, less than 100.
Can your resort in the Delta beat that price?
No, we're more expensive than $92 a night.
Oh, you know why he's charging 92 a night?
Because of the Olympics.
This is in reference to him being on the 1992 Olympic team.
Okay. I mean, he
Get
could
it?
have charged
92.
He could have charged $9,200 a night. I mean, it's worth it. I'm thinking about maybe flying out there just for this. I can't imagine it being like someone's going to take this really soon, aren't they? Of course, I don't know how it works when you take. It'll be available on just 3 days, August 2, 4, and 6. So
yeah, stays are timed so guests can watch basketball competitions from the group stage, gold and silver medal games in Tokyo. In honor of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, I'm inviting basketball fans to my Chicago home to relive one of my career highlights, competing in the Olympic Games in Barcelona in 1992.
Sounds like it's more like a watch party.
The next generation of Olympians from my home court.
Yeah, but you get to stay there overnight, so you get to play basketball, live in
Yeah, but there's a sleeping bag out in the yard.
Yeah, no, there's a picture of a bedroom with a very nice bed, and that's beautiful.
That's where he sleeps.
Way to go,
you guys
Scotty.
all have to.
All right.
I didn't know
the house is paid for, so it's not like
yeah, but still, I mean, there was a guy in San Francisco. He had this, I don't know, $6 million mansion. For whatever reason, he rented out to some guy, and I don't think he knew the guy, for $100 a month. I think he was just looking at like, well, this guy will just take, I have someone to watch the place for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thought the guy was a drug user and practically destroyed.
That's too bad.
In a month or two, yeah. I mean, the guy
didn't do a credit check.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Pacific Heights. Remember where he comes up with all the cash and all that? And then, Olympic Overtime Elite, league backed by sports media company Overtime, promises high school athletes at least $100,000 annually to play in a league, and wants to bring about 30 of the country's best talents. Boy, that'll
including the youngest player to turn professional, Jalen Lewis, from right here in the Bay Area, Bishop O'Dowd High School. He signed a contract, $1 million, to play in this elite league. And here's what you get. It's like a super IMG type league where you go there. It's like an academy. You go to class, you take subjects, and then when you're not doing that, you're playing you're playing a basketball season.
I like that.
So he has chosen to forego his final 2 years of high school at Bishop O'Dowd in Oakland and play in this league. Well, he will receive accredited education and be paid to play professionally.
That's perfect because he'll still get a good education. He'll get to play his basketball.
Yep, and get paid for it.
Yeah, if he's really, exactly. And if he's really, really good, then he'll go up the ladder. Then, obviously, because it wouldn't pay him that much. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, he's still got his education. Now, the thing is, you can't play college sports. No. But that's okay. I mean,
no, that's all right. That's all right. And this isn't just some tall guy that they just picked up off the scrap heap. This guy was rated big man for the class of 2023 coming out of high school by ESPN's Top 100.
Well, how tall is he?
He's 6'10".
Wow.
And growing. So by the time he would graduate, I mean, he could gain another inch or two. But very, very fluid, very good shot. He's got a nice mid-range jumper, and he's just dominant as far as a rim protector and shot blocker. I did a story on him, and him and his father, who played collegiately for UC Davis in the 1980s, and it's just been the two of them. And here is kind of part of my story. The mother sadly died of cancer, and the husband made a promise to her that I'm going to take care of our son, and we're his chapter. We're going to finish his story, and the chapters to tell the story will be told, and you'll be proud.
Oh,
and so he made this promise that he was going to do this, and here we are.
I mean, I haven't thought about it enough, but I don't see any problem with any of that.
Oh no, it's no problem. But you have to be a top athlete in the world.
Oh yeah, of course. But I mean, okay, so LeBron and Kobe, they just come right out of high school and go into the pros, and obviously they did well. How many players?
LeBron has a son. LeBron has a great son. Bronny is a top high school player. I could see. I'm sure I'm sure the James family's been approached about this.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll just have to see. Again, it's a brand new thing. They start playing in September. That's when the season starts.
And where, okay, so
it's based. This league is based in Atlanta.
So this young man will have to go to Atlanta. It'll be like a boarding school, basically.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. And you got to think that they're going to get some top educators, I would think.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. This will be just like IMG. Only the only difference is it's just basketball, and they're paying the players.
Yeah, because sometimes baseball. That's what's so hard about baseball is these guys come out even out of high school, let's say, and they sign a contract, but then it's single A, double A, triple A. I mean, it's very rare that somebody comes out of high school and suddenly you see them on the mound in the major leagues.
I've only seen it once, and this happened. This wasn't a high school player. This was a college player. Houston Street was a closer at the University of Texas. They won the NCAA championship, and he was drafted by the Oakland A's. And no minor league camp, he went right to the parent club and was the team's closer. Yeah.
Well, it's challenging. And then football, you're just still growing, so it's kind of hard to get and are there rules in football, like you cannot play until you're a certain age? What's the minimum age?
I don't know about the minimum age, but I know you can forego your senior year of college and declare for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the 80s, there was the big USFL thing with Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Herschel Walker. It was another running back. Gosh, the name slips me. He played 1 year at Oklahoma and then declared for the USFL draft, and they paid him. And
those contracts were big too, because unless you were not,
because if he had to wait for the NFL, he would.
Yeah, because I remember Steve Young. I think he was the big name in the USFL, and it was something ridiculous, like $1 billion contract or something.
It was a $40 million contract. It was an annuity.
Ah, okay. He's probably still getting paid.
And hey, I wanted to get in one quick mention, and that is the passing of WWF legend Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful.
Oh my!
Paul Orndorff.
I remember him.
Yeah, he was in WrestleMania 1 as part of the tag team against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. He was Roddy Piper's tag team partner, and really a consummate athlete. Was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the 12th round, but for personal reasons, never decided to play football. And, that's a great what if, wonder what would have happened if Paul Orndorff had ever played.
Yeah, I was just looking here. I mean, he was not that young. He was
in wrestling.
I mean, he was 71, so it wasn't like he, died of steroid use or something, too early.
He had cancer. He'd had cancer for the last few years.
Yeah.
And so really, even though he lived to 71, he was unfortunately a pale shell of what he was before. And it's a sad reminder to know that, even when you once looked like, a god physically, time will still is the undefeated champion of the wrestling world. And,
is that right?
Time will always get a 3 count on you.
Yeah, there's no cure for for dying yet.
No, and it can take away everything from you. And unfortunately, from Paul Orndorff, it did. He didn't have a good ending. And I
don't know where where this information comes from, but I just pulled him up right now. Without looking, guess what his net worth was?
I
don't know if it's accurate.
Very much.
Based on celebrity net worth, that's some, .com.
Like $2 million?
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000.
100,000.
Yeah, I know. His cancer and his medical treatments cost about everything that he had.
Hey guys, I almost missed the clock here. We got to go. Last trivia question. Grant Hill shared the Rookie of the Year award with which NBA star? That's our trivia question, all right? Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. I'll be right back with some closing comments. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. Third trivia question. Grant Hill shared, Rookie of the Year award with which NBA star?
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd. There you go.
Right out of the Bay Area. St. Joseph's, Alameda, Cal. Boom. NBA, Dallas Mavericks, Rookie of the Year.
That's it.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Or he is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that, but
no, he should be. I mean,
Grant Hill isn't. But Grant Hill isn't.
Yeah,
not sure. I have to look up Grant Hill.
I think he just made it in, and it's funny because Grant Hill. The main thing I think about with Grant Hill is the college game where he throws the ball to Christian Laettner against Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
remember that? I mean,
I think of his injuries. Taking keeping him from being one of the true greats of the game.
Yeah, because when he was in college,
2018 Naismith Hall, and here's the story on Grant Hill. He's in the Hall of Fame, and his father, Calvin Hill, who played with the Dallas Cowboys, is also in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Sure, Calvin Hill, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, are you ready for our thoughts for the day? Okay.
No, but you'll say them anyway.
But I'll say them anyway, yeah. There's something that I don't like about do not touch signs, but I just can't put my finger on it.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Vern, this one's just for you because I know you love these dad jokes ones. Okay, ready? What do you call a Russian dessert?
What?
Vladimir pudding.
I was gonna say red
velvet. I knew I'd get a laugh out of you on that one.
By the way, that running back I was talking about a couple of segments ago, Marcus Dupree.
Oh
yeah. Played a year in Oklahoma, then wanted to go pro. The NFL wouldn't let him, so he went to the USFL.
And then after the USFL, he couldn't quite make it back. Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, he
like Archie Griffin. Archie Griffin does fantastic in college too. Back-to-back Heismans, and then in the pros, just couldn't quite do it. All right.
Well, I mean, he played with the Cincinnati Bengals.
But no front line. All right. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We'll be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and asking more sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
So long.